It is a popular expression in the sim racing space to say, buy once, cry once, in terms of equipment. What this means is that when it comes to wheelbases, pedals, and chassis, is that it's better in the long run of the hobby to buy a higher end, more expensive piece of equipment first, rather than incrementally upgrading from an entry level through the mid range and up to the high end of the market in the end anyway. Gear progression is a double edged sword. It can be and is a trap, especially for newer people into sim racing who don't possess the knowledge or the skills necessary to take full advantage of what better gear can actually provide. This is not to say that there cannot be a benefit to having better equipment. However, it is not enough to go from an also ran to competing at the front of the field for victories. Hi, I'm JD, and I've been sim racing for over 10 years. I've gone through the gamut of sims and titles from Need for Speed, Gran Turismo, Forza, ACC, and iRacing. I've won many races and championships along the way, and I want to help you avoid the common pitfalls I've seen and experienced in my time. While there's not one correct way to enjoy sim racing, there are lots of ways for it to go wrong. To help you learn, grow, and enjoy this hobby to the fullest, this is Sim Racing Explained. Now, the goal of this video is to explain the pitfall of falling into an equipment first mindset, how drivers actually improve their performance, and finally, what better equipment actually provides. I've been fortunate enough to try many different sim racing setups, from league racing on Forza using an Xbox controller, my first wheel being a Logitech G920 clamped to a desk and weights behind the pedals, and up to a Simucube 2 Pro with Hoistenfeld Ultimate pedals on a motion platform. It's a safe thing to say that every type of sim racer is inherently a fan of hardware. It is the main way we all interact with our choice titles, and it fills you with a sense of awe and pride whenever you obtain a new piece for your setup. Inevitably, after the initial rush of getting started in sim racing, learning what a racing line is, making your first passes on track, and shaving seconds off your lap times, you hit a plateau. This is where the trap can begin. These newer sim racers get stuck on the thought that their equipment is what is holding them back. Oh, if my wheelbase was better, I could run in the top five, or if my pedals were better, I could brake later, or if I had a motion rig, I could feel when the car is sliding and on the edge and feel all the bumps to give me more information. These are all easy excuses to make, and it takes the onus off of the driver and puts it on, if I had this, or when I get this, I will be able to restart the momentum of progress that I initially had in the hobby. This is an easy excuse for racers for them not to look introspectively at how their inputs affect their driving and how they could improve their technique and racecraft. Instead, they'll blame it on their gear. And then it inevitably leads to them going and investing more money and more money and more money on more and more expensive gear, hoping to capture that right feeling so that they can unleash the potential they know they have inside them. To explain this in terms of stick and ball sports, I played baseball for over a decade growing up. And playing in any sports team, you see many different socioeconomic backgrounds. You see kids with the brand name replica of the pro player's gloves and cleats and the hottest bat on the market with the most pop when you make contact. And then you have kids who are unfortunate enough to have to gather their equipment from, your Walmart or Dick's Sporting Goods clearance bins. While there is variation in the quality of these items, they all perform their function perfectly. The glove will still stop the ball from hitting you in the face. The bat will still hit the ball if you swing and make contact. And the cleats will give you extra traction on the dirt over tennis shoes. However, none of those pieces of equipment make the kid a better baseball player. Only their practice and understanding of their mechanics has an impact on how well they play. If a kid has an awesome bat, but he swings and can't make contact with the bat is essentially worthless. If they don't have the coordination to put the glove in front of their face and not catch the ball, the glove again it's useless if it's not used in the proper way. In the end, the gear does nothing to improve what the owner is doing, and the onus is on them. You can have the nicest equipment in the world, but if your fundamentals stagnate and you do not continually refine them, the results you're seeking will not materialize. The same holds true for our hobby. If a driver understands the fundamentals of driving, they can outperform almost anybody on any type of equipment. While some equipment can help with some consistency, it does not change the underlying skill of the driver using it. Whether you're on a Logitech G29 or SimuCube 3 Ultimate, you and everyone else still have to push the pedals and turn the wheel correctly to make the car go around faster. Now, I am aware that there could be objections to my points. If the gear doesn't make me go faster, then why does the higher end market exist? Why do people have them? And why have I improved whenever I've gotten new equipment? To answer those questions, first of all, like I said towards the start, new gear is awesome. And not everyone gets new gear in order to go quicker. For some, it is about the immersion aspect they get from driving. They aren't looking to win, they're looking to replicate the act of driving these unobtainium race cars and supercars and to have a ball doing it. Secondly, there's an element of showing off expensive gear. Just like with anything else in life, there is a keeping up with the Joneses aspect. Flex some expendable income. It can make you feel better if that's the kind of thing you're into. Finally, why have I improved with new equipment? What's the first thing that people do when they get new equipment or new toys? They use them a lot. When people get new equipment, they put in more seat time to dial in the settings. They have the confidence to push the car harder than they were before. And then inevitably, with that time and effort, they see the improvement they're looking for. It's not the equipment which necessarily made them faster, but it was that period of more intense and focused practice that they put in. This is a placebo effect. It's a self fulfilling prophecy, and people usually draw the wrong conclusion as to why the improvement took place. A driver who does not push the limits of a car or use all the available track space will not be cured through a high end wheelbase. The driver simply lacks that confidence and experience to push the car fully to its limits. To become good at the hobby, self introspection is the largest aspect in order to gain skill, not the gear. Seat time, purposeful practice, and refining driving fundamentals are how people improve. It's a boring answer, but it's the truth. It is why there are countless cases of elite drivers using the most basic setups. G25s mounted to a desk with weights behind their pedals. They know that there are things they could always refine and do better with their inputs, and they're always looking eternally for that improvement. They are not looking to their gear, they are looking to themselves. So, what's the point of this video? Well, the point is to know, what do you want from this hobby, especially before you make large investments into it. Do you want to be more competitive and go faster? Then you only need basic equipment, a lot of willpower, and the time to grind and refine your skills. Do you want more immersion? Then you can opt for extras like triple screens, VR, haptics, active pedals, belt tensioners, and motion platforms. You want to ride a bucking bronco? Well, you can make that happen in your living room. Or do you want something nice and peaceful and accessible to hop in and just drive around vibing? Well, the world is your oyster in this hobby. Sim racing can be as expensive or as cost effective as you want it to be. You just need to make sure that it aligns with your chosen goals. Now, I'd recommend for people to not give in to the pressure of keeping up with the Joneses or emulating the influencers they see all the time on the internet. Take your time to explore the hobby and know what you want from it. Then you can make your decision as to how much more you want to invest in it. For people looking to increase their performance on track, the only pieces of equipment I would recommend are the following. First is to get a set of load cell pedals. Any load cell pedals. What this does is take the guesswork out of how hard do you have to push the brake pedal. You can create that muscle memory rather than trying to remember how far to push the brake pedal like you would on potentiometers. Second is any direct drive wheel, preferably ones 5 Newton meters or more. Not for the power they provide, but for the smoothness and consistency of the information they provide over clunky gear driven wheels or the slip and slack of belt driven bases. Finally, a comfortable setup with good ergonomics. You'll be sitting in your rig for hours at a time. Making sure it does not take a toll on your body, especially for endurance races, is very important for the long term success of you in the hobby. Once again, the only caveat I have for obtaining new equipment is that it should be for the purpose of consistency and comfort over the allure of the raw performance you wish to achieve. If there's anything that you take from this video, it should be this. You are the most important piece of equipment in your setup. You are the one pushing the pedals, steering the wheel, and making decisions out on the track. You come first in terms of improving your performance. Everything else is secondary. I've been JD, and this has been Sim Racing Explained.